Hi, and welcome to the Tuesday night live stream. Let me get into the chat and see who is here. Hang on one second. If you are new here, hi, I'm Michelle from Unicorn and Centaur. And tonight is the Tuesday night live stream, and we are crafting tonight. We're making stuff. Hang on one second. If you're here in the chat, say hi while I'm getting here. Yeah, Zadel's here. Lily Main, hi, and Brittany's here. Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? And is everybody crocheting with me? If you're looking for Tack Chat, my other live stream where we clean tack and discuss equestrian topics, we're going to do that next week. I think next week, or and yes, that'll be next week. But tonight we are crafting. There are a bunch of links in the description box below, so hang on one second. All right, if you're here watching the playback, if you're not watching this live and you're not here live in the chat with me, this is a live stream, so it's not an edited video, and there may be times where I'm chatting with the people who are here live, so I apologize if that throws anybody. So this one, have I even said why we're here tonight? Hang on. I think I've had enough caffeine, but okay, so tonight we are learning how to crochet. In the Facebook group Extra Equestrians, people will post these fancy ear bonnets, and sometimes some people make them, and everyone always comments, oh, I would really, really love to know how to crochet my horse an ear bonnet, but I don't know how to crochet. So tonight's crafting live stream is sort of a step-by-step tutorial of the basics. I'm going to be turning myself around, bringing the camera forward so you can really see what I'm doing close up. I don't have like supermodel hands, so please forgive me if that looks a little bit weird. But that's what we're going to be doing tonight. We're going to be going over the basics of learning how to crochet. This is not knitting with 2 needles, like knitting a sweater. This is crocheting. Like the Afghan that I have on the chair behind me was knitted by, I can't remember now, one of my aunts or my mom or my grandma knitted this one, or crocheted this one. But knitting is done with 2 needles and yarn, and crocheting is done with 1 hook. So this is what we're doing. Crochet. So crochet and knitting both produce different types of things, so it's good to know both skills. I am a much more confident knitter. I'm a little bit more new to crochet, so going over the basics is going to be really good for me too. So hang on, let me see who's here. Hannah Hannibal's, hi. Oh, Zadel just finished finals. Nice, nice, went well. Okay, Brittany, stressed, tired. Oh, I am too. I'm like doing crochet tonight as like therapy. I'm here. And Scott's here. Really like your hair color? Thank you, thank you. I washed it today, so it's like extra sassy. Zadel's graduating to the advanced. That's nice. So anybody new in the chat, Zadel is in farrier school, learning how to trim horse hooves and shoe horses. Hang on one second. Okay, so that's the intro. At any point in the live stream, if you need a reference, there's probably a link in the description box below. I put all kinds of stuff there. So let me do, for crochet. So I showed you the hook for crochet. But what else you need is yarn. The yarn I have today is 100% cotton yarn. When you are following a specific pattern, like for a horse ear bonnet or for anything that you're going to make, you really need to use the yarn that is recommended in the pattern that it's supposed to be made of, because different yarns will have different properties. Just like different fabrics have different properties. We're making fabric here. So anyway, so you're using yarn and a crochet hook. And here are some previous attempts of mine to make one. This was a pattern I got for free off of Ravelry. And the little triangle in front doesn't look right. It doesn't lay right. And it doesn't really lay right behind. It's like a diaper back here. It's not cute. So excuse me, I'm already Dr. Pepper Bearing. So I really like the stitch pattern for this one, but it kind of turned out to be a bit of a fail. Here was another attempt where I was trying to adjust the pattern to fit my horses. So once I'd had enough of the free pattern, let's see. I actually bought one. I spent some money. I went on Ravelry.com. Again, there's a link to that in the description box. If you're interested in really learning how to crochet and knit, go to Ravelry.com and sign up. It's free to open up an account there. And they have all kinds of patterns there that are free and some are for sale. So I usually troll the free patterns because I am a free girl all day long. But one of the Extra Equestrians members, Kayla Centaur, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, she had posted, she has a pattern for sale on Ravelry. So I purchased one yesterday and I got my pattern and I printed it out. It's like 19 pages. I'm not going to show you all of it. I'm just going to show you like the first page and like the pictures from it. But she had posted it. And so I'm like super excited because, but anyway, if you're interested in purchasing the pattern, there is a link below to do that. And she has agreed to put the price at, instead, it's normally $8, but she's agreed to make it $5 just for tonight. So if you are watching in the live stream and you want this particular horse bonnet pattern, take a look at that for your horse. Cute. So if that one interests you, here's a little bit of a look at the parts of it, at what it's going to look like. There you go. So, but check that out. There is a link below. So you can get $3 off the pattern if you do that today. This is not a sponsored video. Again, I paid my money, my own money for this pattern. So she didn't put me up to this, or this isn't like PR or anything. I just thought it was a cool pattern and I wanted to try it. So we are not making this bonnet tonight. We are learning the basics so that once you practice the basics, you can tackle a pattern like this and get it. So that's what we're doing tonight. Who is here? Who is here? Extra sassy. I'm extra sassy a lot. Okay, so I've got my little notes here over to the side. Welcome, intro, tools used, patterns, resources. We've talked about Ravelry. There's got to be Facebook groups. If you're on Facebook, there's got to be Facebook groups that you can join. I'm not in any knitting or crocheting groups. I just go to Ravelry when I want a pattern and go from there. So when you get a pattern, patterns can be really confusing. Like, here we go. If you don't know anything about crochet, hang on. So if you don't know anything about crochet, what is this? Like, what even is that? Like, is it in code? What are we talking about here? So, I mean, you could look at free patterns all day long, but if you don't know how to crochet, you're sort of looking at it. Most patterns will start with a list of items needed, and then there will be any special instructions, such as if there's a special stitch pattern or any sort of special considerations to be looking out for. That usually will be noted on the first page of the pattern. Then some patterns have a chart, and some people learn better from charts. Ravelry has lots of chart patterns. I don't have one to look at right now, but it has like a different symbol for each stitch. It'll have a chart, like a graph, where a pattern is laid out, and in each box represents a stitch, and it's done in a different symbol. But some people really work well from patterns. I like to do written instructions. You can take like a pencil or a pen and you can mark off how many rows you've gone or mark off where you are in a pattern. Because y'all, I will lose my place in a hot minute if I'm doing something like that in a pattern. So the way to learn how to read a knitting pattern or a crochet pattern is the same as learning how to read any other pattern, is step by step. Try to get an idea of it as a whole, but then let's go step by step. The basics in any of these patterns are going to be a chain stitch, where you learn how to make like just one chain of stitches, then a single crochet stitch and a double crochet stitch. So those are the skills we're going to work on. Those are the skills we're going to practice. That's what we're going to talk about. Who is crocheting with me? Let me know in the chat. Because if you're really here, if you've got a crochet hook, and some yarn, let me know and I can show you things like 1, 2, 3, 4 times, however many times you need to get it. Well, I may eventually have to move on, but whatever. Oh, speaking of that, I have also linked a tutorial in the description box for Happy Berry. I think it's Happy Berry Crochet is the YouTube channel. So go there and subscribe and all that stuff. Wanted to make a fly bonnet, but I don't write English. I bet you could do Western. What if you made like, I mean, any bonnet could be Western. Can it? Can it not? I bet you can make one. Put a unicorn horn on it. Then what are they going to say? Say it's not English, it's unicorn. You just tell people what you do. All right, so here we go. For tonight's purposes, we talked about how sometimes the size of the needle and what kind of yarn you use is important when you're doing a specific project. But tonight we're just learning. So whatever kind of yarn you have is fine. I'm going to be practicing and showing from this because I think it's going to show very well on camera. So I'm going to be working from this cone of turquoise cotton yarn. And I am going, this is not the size recommended in my pattern again, but I'm going to be working with this hook because it has a nice contrast and you'll be able to see better on camera what I am doing. So all right, who's ready to knit? Or grab? I keep saying knit because it's shorter than crochet. Gosh. Draft horse in the shop. Kind of sad I should not. I love the drafts. They're so much fun. One of the new horses at the carriage barn that I drive for downtown, he's new and he is big. He's all fat. So we're having to like really work him out. Hang on. This hangout is live. Hangouts on air is going away later this year. How dare you? YouTube is trying to get me to do something their way. How dare you? I'm saying that, but whatever. Tell me what to do, YouTube overlords. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're at the very basic beginning. Here's how do you even start this thing, right? So I've got my hook and I've got my yarn. And we are first going to have to learn how to make a Slipknot, which is also my son's favorite band right now. Okay, so here we go. I'm coming on in. Hang on, y'all. I want to see if I can get us down to where I can really show you what we're doing here. Am I in the light? Okay. So I've got a short tail. You don't want it too short because you're going to have to, you're either going to use it to tie the bonnet onto your bridle or wrap it around, or you're going to weave it back in. So you need, I don't know, give it 8 inches or so. And then you're going to make a knot in the end. Now I've seen a tutorial that shows you how to wrap this around and then cross it and then get the hook and go back under. But I always just, I make a loop. So you just make a loop of fabric and then you pull another loop through. Boom. There you go, and you've got a knot. Da, 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 da. I'll do it a couple times so you guys can see. But then you can put your little hook through here and pull on the end and play with it a little bit. Who knows how to make a slip knot? It's called a slip knot because if you take this off, it slips right out. So you make a loop, and then you just pull the other loop through like that, see? Pull it through. So who's with me? Are there even people with me? What in the world? Brittany is back. Good. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to tie the slip knot again. Again, not called Slipknot because it wears a mask and is on tour. Boop, but it comes right out. So get yourself a little tail. Make a little loopy. So see, I've got the loop this way. So if I'm crossed it forward this way, so I come behind with that thread and pull it through. And then I can just put that right there. and tug on it. You don't want it tight. Don't put it like super tight on your crochet hook because then you're not going to be able to pull it through. Excuse me. So what we're going to do here is make a chain stitch, and we started with one link of the chain here. Okay, I need to come, you guys need to come around this way, don't you? Hang on. Why am I not seeing the chat right now? Hey. Hello. Oh my gosh. Why am I not seeing the chat? I'm gonna have to back out of this entirely, aren't I? Y'all, okay, hang on. Da 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 da. Okay, I think it is. Seems confusing. It is. This is extremely confusing until you get it. But here's what we're doing today. I'm showing you how to make a knot. I'm showing you how to make a chain stitch. Then we're doing 2 different stitches that I'm doing. So it's 4 things that we're going to be going over in the live stream tonight. And the very first thing is just how to make a little knot in here. So if you still don't get it, there is a tutorial linked below that you can watch afterwards. Or so I make a loop, and then this thread that's, see, it's going over the front. I bring it back around the back and pull it through. And now that's my loop. That's my loop. So there you go. And I pull it to where it's sort of kind of, it's kind of loose. I want some room in there. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take, not the tail, we're going to sort of let the tail go off to the side, our little taily doodle here. We're going to take the long part. Make sure you've got the correct part. And then I've got my right hand. Let me see. Do I have enough weight? Lord. I wonder if I can move this around. Hang on, y'all. We can do this. Bear with me if you are here. I am going to put some light on my hands. Can I do this? Is this possible? Okay, no, that's going to make a weird shadow, isn't it? Okay. Oh, actually, that might be nice. So this is the tail that just sort of sits down here. Now, this is my right hand, and I take my finger and I sort of place it on the loop. I hold the hook in my right hand, and I keep my right finger on this loop to keep it stable. Tail gets left over to the side. So this is the long end of my yarn here. And now everything your fingers are doing is, your fingers all kind of have jobs to do when you're crocheting. It's not just about the hook and the yarn. So, so door to my realm, Scott, if you're watching, this is a lot like puppetry, like shadow puppets and stuff like that, where everything sort of has a job. So this hand is over here holding the hook and this loop. This is the next one. The left hand is now holding this. So to make our chain, we take the, trying to show, take the hook under, or the yarn over the hook. So this is where we're going. Yarn goes over the hook. So now I'm holding the tail with my left hand, twisting the hook and pulling the loop through. Can we even see this? Goodness gracious me. Okay, how about this? So here we go again. So I've got my right hand on the hook with the loop here, and I can control, I can pull this out and make it long, or I can tighten it back up again. We can tighten this bad boy back up again. So I do that with the tension with my left hand right here. So I've got the yarn over my left finger, and I use that to bring the yarn around the hook. Then I pull the hook, and I'm twisting and pulling through this loop. This is why you don't want the loops to be tight. You want room to pull that through. So then again, got this in my hand, wrap around, pull it through. Wrap around, pull it through. We'll go over all this one more time. Is everybody lost or is everybody with me? Tomorrow, do a barn vlog. Oh, cool, Britt. Okay, hang on. I'm here in the chat. Hi, everyone. So have to wake up at 6:15. It is confusing. Okay, so I'm sorry if people are confused. Hang on. This lighting is not doing it for me. I'm annoyed. I wonder if I put it back. If I put it on top of something. I don't know. I might have to make this better. Oh, I wonder if I just put this down here, y'all. Oh, there went my lip gloss. This may be too much light for this. Okay. If you are here in the chat, my apologies. Thanks for joining us, Hannah Hanimals. Okay. So where is my yarn? Okay, here we go. Let me see if I can do this. I don't know. I am afraid this light is so bad. Okay. So I'm just pulling these all out. Again, these are like Slipknot. So I have my hook in my right hand with and then my yarn in my left hand. I make a loop, pull that yarn back through, boop, and that's what I'm doing. Okay, that's a little tight, so I'm going to pull it out just a little bit. Okay, which one's the tail? Can we even see this? Okay, so here's the tail, and that's what the left hand kind of holds on to with these back fingers to kind of keep things anchored. So the back fingers of the left hand will keep this anchored. The other fingers of the left hand will hold the rest of the yarn up. You've got your right hand holding this in place. The yarn goes around and through the loop. So again, the yarn goes around the hook and then you pull it through the loop. Around, pull it. And there's all different ways of doing this. Okay. So once you get it, let me see, let me put you guys back up here. Once you get it, you can make a long chain of stitches, and your chain should look like this. It should look like a bunch of little V's if you're holding it up. Here we go. So it looks like a bunch of little V's. Now on the back side, it's got little bumps. So each side of it looks different. So there's like a bumpy chain from the back, and there's the V's are the front side. Now my stitches are a little bit uneven here because I was trying to make sure that you could see what I was doing. I think which failed miserably. I wonder if I turn on the lights in my room, because that'll be better. My lighting may be too dramatic. All right, so actually I'm gonna make one more chain before we move on. So again, holding my tail of, now you're annoying me. So again, holding my tail of yarn, make a loop, and then pull that back one through. And you put that hook in there. So here we go. So here we go. I need you like over my shoulder. Why aren't you over my shoulder? Okay. So here we are. We've got our little loopy doopy. So I'm holding with my left hand back fingers. I'm holding that anchor through. Oh, no. Oh, I was holding the wrong one. I was about to be in trouble. So I've got the anchor thread in my back fingers, and my front fingers have that up there. Let's wrap that around. Again, let's look at that up close. Wrap that around. Pull it through. So all you're doing is taking this hook and pulling the yarn through the loop to make another link in the chain, pulling it through, pulling it through, pulling it through. Okay. What time is it? It's 10:25. We need to move on to single stitch. We're going to do single crochet now. Seems simple. I thought it would be harder. Yeah, well, okay, so this looks a little nicer. Here, these are the little V's that are the front side. And then on the back, you can see, let's see, these are the V's. And then here's the back where you see the little bumps. So this is the chain that gets a project started. Just about anything that you're doing here is going to require a chain stitch of a certain length. So once you've got the chain stitches and you know how to count the different stitches, so each one of these stitches, the one that's on the hook doesn't count. That does not count as a stitch. So you've got this chain of V's going on here, and each little V section is one stitch. So let's say we get to the end of our row here. Now we're going to learn to do how to do single crochet. So you've got a row of stitches V side up right here. So to do a single crochet stitch, okay, now I'm going to try to bring it in even closer. So to do a single crochet stitch, you're going to go through the second stitch. So not the one on the loop, not this first V, but this next V. I'm going to stick my hook right underneath that portion right there. So for single crochet, you go in through the second, you start the next row doing that. Now bring your yarn over just like you did with the chain stitch and pull it through this one. Now you've got two stitches on there. Don't panic. Hold on to it right down here with the left hand. Then you yarn over again and pull it through both of those stitches. Now you've got one stitch left on the thing. Now you've done a single crochet. So I'm going to show you that again one more time. Hang on. Because I know that's like confusing. So here we go. We're at the end of a chain, right? End of a chain. So to start a single crochet, you don't go in the loop on the hook. You don't go in the next stitch. You go in this one right here. Boom. Now it's like you've got two stitches on there, see? So then you put that yarn over the hook and pull it through that first loop. There you go. You're halfway through this single crochet stitch. Now you're going to yarn over again and pull through both. And now you've done a single crochet. So now for the next one, you can see I've got not the one on the hook and not this one that we're on right here. We're going to go in through this one, yarn over, pull it through, one stitch, yarn over, pull it through both stitches. See, now now it's time to start thinking vertically. Instead of going in a chain, we're turning around and we're going back this way. See what I'm doing there? You'll see it as we go forward. So hang on, let me get back a little bit and we'll demonstrate that single stitch. Let me see what's going on in the chat and get another sip of Diet Dr. Pepper. So again, you start with your slip knot, wrap a little loop, and then pull the thing back through. You'll know you've got a slip knot right if you pull both ends and it just pops right out. Then make your chain and by yarn over, pulling it back through, yarn over, pulling it back through. So once you've got a chain, now we can single stitch. So here we are again, single stitching. So now my left hand is kind of holding on to this end of the work. My right hand is still keeping this stitch here stable. Hang on a second. Scott, will you come turn my light on, like my big light? I think that might make everything better. But yeah, I think that might. Did that light things better? I don't know. Thank you. Let there be light. Okay, so here we are again. My right hand is doing this. My left hand is doing this. Here is our yarn tail. So now we're going to single stitch. So I don't go into, this is like not what we're doing here. We go into the next one here. I'm going into the next stitch. See where I'm going in? You're going to, and then we yarn over and bring it through one, And then we yarn over and bring it through 2. And now you've done another stitch. Uh-oh, I messed it up. Hang on. Let's take that out and do it again. Let's take all that out and do it again. So again, make a loop. Here, you can like just tuck that through right there. So we've started that. So again, learning these stitches, practicing them, sit down with a podcast or a book on tape or the crafting live stream and just sit and practice doing your chain stitches. So all you're doing is taking this loop and then hooking this yarn through the loop until you have enough stitches. Each pattern will be like chain 22 stitches or chain 12 stitches or whatever. So here we go. I've got my nice chain of V's and a single stitch. I don't go into the loop on the hook. I don't go into this first stitch. I go into the second stitch. So again, up close, this is what this looks like. So not this one, but this one. Boom. Then the right hand takes the yarn over the hook and then you pull it through 1 stitch. Now you've got 2 on there. Yarn over 1 more time and pull that yarn through both, and now you've got 1 stitch on there. So let's do that again. Not the hook loop, not the one here that we're on, but the next one. So hang on, let me pull that through again so I can show you. Not the hook loop, not that one. And not this part right here that we just worked. This part. Boom. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. So here we go again. Not the hook loop, not the one we just worked, but the next loop, the next chain. That's what it is, working to the next chain. Yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through. I'm going to pull y'all out for a little bit. Hang on. So I'm going to finish this 1 chain of stitches. So here we go. Not the one we just worked, but I go into the next, work the next chain, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through again. Work the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. So here we go. This gives you, no, we're not doing that. That's the double one. We're going to do double crochet in just a second. So if you're not getting this the first time through, don't panic. If you can't quite see what I'm doing, some people are more visual learners. I'm just going to work the rest of this row here. Or some people like to have a written out or a diagram, like a 2-dimensional diagram kind of thing to look at, in which case you can look up instructions online. You can watch video tutorials. You can go back and watch the playback of this live stream if you want to catch what I'm doing like 1 more time. So here I've only got a couple of more stitches here to work. See how I've got, what we're doing now is we've sort of added a row to the chain. See how we've done that? Okay. So once I get to the end, I have to add a stitch for the height of the next row. Otherwise, we're going to lose a stitch here. So then I pull it through both. Oops. Pull it through both. At this point, we would turn our work. So now that we're going the other direction. And then I need to chain 1 stitch. So I did 1 chain stitch, and now I don't work that stitch. I work this one right here. And now on the second row, we go through 2 stitches. See how that goes, right? So there's like a top row of V's here that we're working on. And we go through both of those stitches right there. Yarn over, pull it through 1 stitch, yarn over, pull it through the next one. So now we're working the next row. So now we go through, not the stitch we just worked, but the next 2 right there. The next little pair of V's. You go under the whole V. Oops, wrong way. So wrap it around and bring it through both. Okay. So instead of just one of these stitches, see how this one is right here? Now that we're on the second row, we're not working one chain. Instead of doing that, we're going under the entire V right there. Then you yarn over, pull it through. Then we yarn over and pull it through again. So this is how we do single crochet stitch. And as you can see now, we're working on making like fabric. So I am going to now pull this out and we're going to do a double crochet stitch. These are pretty much the basic stitches that you need to do just about any crochet pattern. If you have trouble, if you come up on something in your instructions in your pattern that is confusing, that you don't understand, just look it up on YouTube. It may not be in the live stream here, but somebody's done a tutorial on it. Even if you don't understand, like if you're looking, like here we go, terms used here. CH equals chain stitch. So if you're looking in the directions and you see 4CH, you know that means 4 chains. You do 4 chain stitches. Then 3DC, you know DC is double crochet. So then you do double crochet. And you can continue to refer back to your pattern, and you can put these search terms in YouTube and look for specific tutorials on how to do whatever it is that's got you confused, like which loop to put through and what, etc., etc. You're going to fail a lot at first. You're going to make mistakes. It's going to look wonky and stupid. But just like I used to say to my lesson students when I taught horseback riding lessons, the bad news is you need practice. And the good news is the practice is fun. So I crochet and knit when I'm like watching TV shows and stuff. Oh, hey, Hannah. So like American Ninja Warrior was on the other night. And so they do a lot of stories and things like that. Like I just like to watch the people run on the obstacle courses. So, but they play a lot of like inspirational whatever. And so during those moments, I can be knitting. Like I also do knitting. Here is some of the unicorn fur yarn that I've got. And knitting is with 2 needles, not 1 hook. And this is the very, very beginning of a scarf. So it's not even started really yet. I totally got off track. Hang on. So let's review again so we can do double stitch. So here we go. Make a loop, and then you pull that thread through, and that's now your loop. Look at that. Look at that. Look what you did. Then you pull the knot tail end until you've got a nice little loop. So now we're going to make a chain again. Remember, right hand holds the hook and keeps the loop stable, the first loop stable. Left hand holds the tail end to anchor it and also holds the yarn. And we go back over the hook, twist it and pull it until we pull the loop through and make a chain stitch. And we're going to do that about 10 times. So here we go. 1, 2, so this would be 3, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7. See, I'm constantly having to like move my fingers around and adjust the tension on the yarn, because if it's too loose, you're going to have big, sloppy, uneven stitches. And if you're too tight, it's going to be too tight. So to do a double chain stitch, it's literally double the stitch we just did. So instead of going into the second stitch, you're going into the 4th stitch to start this one. So remember, we've got our row of V's here, not the bumpy part on the back, but the V part. The loop on the hook does not count. So then we count in, and we start with a yarn over this time. So I'm holding in my left hand. So, and I'm going from the back to the front here. So yarn over. And now I'm going to count into the, whoops, I'm in the back there. So now I'm going to count into the 1, 2, wait a minute, hang on. I am going to go into the 1, 2, 3, 4th stitch right there. Boom. Okay, so now it looks like I've got 3 on there. Oh my gosh. Now I yarn over again and bring it through 1. I yarn over again, bring it through 2, yarn over again, bring it through the last 2. And that is your double chain. So this one starts with a yarn over. And then now instead of the 4th stitch, we go down and we go to not this one that we worked, but the next one. So we go through this one after we yarned over. Then we yarn over again and pull through 1, yarn over again, pull through 2, yarn over again and pull through the other 2. So this creates a bit of it's like a bigger pattern, so to speak. Britt got bored and came back. Well, I'm glad you're here, Britt. Learning to crochet can be a little bit boring. Watching the tutorials, because you're pretty much just watching someone's close-up of someone's hands and then them talking in a soothing voice about how to do these stitches. So now we're working back this way. And let me show you this and see if I can show you a little bit closer up. So we're working back this way on the thing here. So we start with a yarn over from the back to the front. And then I'm going to find the next, not the stitch we just worked, but the next one and put it through. Then I yarn over again, pull through 1, yarn over again, pull through 2, yarn over again, pull through 3. So see how we're starting to make a thing here? Yarn over. See how that goes from the back to the front? And then I've got this, so see how it goes back to front. And then I pull it to the back again. Okay, where was I? Okay, go to the next stitch. And then yarn over, pull it through. Yarn over, pull it through 2. Yarn over, pull it through the rest. So here we go. Let me put y'all back again and you can watch me work. Watch me work. I have these here because I usually wear some sort of doofy headband during the live stream, but these just were kind of obnoxious. Like, what even? Am I a butterfly or are these my ears? I don't understand. So, and then I was looking at them too, and cheap dollar store stuff. Like, what is this on the back? Dollar store. Dollar store. I'm judging myself in dollar store. Maybe I'll put them on. I don't know. So this is a lot of tedious practice. So here we are, a little bit further away. So again, here's the things you have to manage. You've got this long strand of yarn that you're working from. You've got your hook here. You've got to sort of keep it on here with your right hand. And then you've got your left hand keeping the rest of the project going. Don't lose your needle because your needle will fall out and then you'll be sad. So take your yarn from the back, yarn over. Not the stitch we just worked, but the next stitch. Yarn over again, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the rest of them. Yarn over, next stitch, yarn over, pull 1, yarn over, pull 2, yarn over, pull 2 one more time. So you just keep working the next chain, making sure with the double chain, with the double crochet stitch, you make sure you start with a yarn over. Don't work into the next chain without yarning over first, or your stitch is going to be messed up. Yarn over, then we work into the next stitch. Then we yarn over again, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. And as you can see, this creates a slightly thicker stitch pattern than the last one. Here we go. We've got these little sort of bars going on here. And then that creates another stitch. Here's your stitch line of these on top, and that's what you're going to work into on the next row. Because now we turn our work and we go the other way. But we can't just start working into it. We have to build up the height of it. So we chain 3 stitches, So sitting over here, we yarn over and chain 1, yarn over, chain 2, yarn over, chain 3. So now we've got like this little thing sticking up here like this. And now working into the 4th stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're here where we're supposed to be. And instead of just one part of the V, we go under both. See that right there? So now look at that. I've got this weird little loopy thing hanging off the side. Oh, I forgot to yarn over first. Mother poop stain. Okay. Pretend I yarned over first. Here we go. I yarn over, which makes it slightly awkward. But then we work in 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. Yarn over again and pull through. So now we've got this wonky thing. This only happens on the ends. Don't panic. Yarn over. Oh, okay. Yarn over. Pull it through 2. Yarn over. Pull it all the way. So now we're working back the other direction. Did we even see that? Y'all. Okay. So now again, whoa, I almost dropped my thing. Yarn over. And then we work into the next stitch. And instead of just one, we go under both of the lines of the V. Yarn over again. Pull it through. Yarn over. Pull it through. I really need like an overhead camera to do these. It'd be fun. I really do need to up my live stream standards because I am just sitting here in my room, y'all. Okay, so these should be lining up. Are they or are they not? Am I not going 1 or 2? Okay, so yarn over, going through the next set of stitches, yarn over again. It seems complicated until you have practiced it a lot. So here again, now we've got a bit of fabric going on here. So sorry, accidentally set my message. Wait, hang on. Oh, hey, Marvel's here. Yeah, I need to sleep. Might get into trouble not sleeping well. I know. I need to get on a better sleep schedule. I hear you, Britt. Do a video on showing all your horses. Aw, Hannah, I actually did a video a while back on like the horses of Unicorn and Centaur, but that was when I had 3 horses. We had a strange, crazy winter, and I had to find another home for my horse Weasley. So now I only have 2 horses. So I really do need to do a video on Artax and Sunny, on my horses, a new one, because I still miss my Weasley though. Shout out in the chat if you remember Weasley. Brittany has ridden Weasley. So let me see if I have all that I was going to do. Starting Slipknot, work stitches, practice. Oh, patience. Remind everyone, when you are learning a new skill, practice and patience. Just keep practicing until you remember all the steps of the single crochet. Just keep practicing until you remember all the steps of the double crochet. You will forget how to do stuff. Sometimes you'll think you're doing everything right, but somehow still what you have made will look weird or stupid or wrong. In that case, you can look up troubleshooting tutorials as well. Crochet tutorials, double crochet stitch troubleshooting or whatever. You can look these things up, and I swear there are so many tutorials on YouTube. But that is the big thing. When I first started learning knitting, I actually went to my local library and got just about every book they had there on knitting. And I looked through all the knitting books, and it was pretty much just a bunch of patterns and a bunch of stitch tutorials. They have, in books, of course, it's laid out, and there are diagrams of where which thread goes. I would recommend, if you are learning, to look up a couple of those diagrams, just to see if that helps trigger your brain into, where it goes in the pattern right here. Other than that, YouTube tutorials, when I first started doing this, I would watch one stitch over and over and over again. I'd sit and just rewatch one section of a YouTube video just over and over again until I understood and was able to do what they were doing in the tutorial. And then again, it's about practice. I would start with simple projects if you don't want to start with a horse bonnet. Even if you're going to get your discount on your pattern tonight, you can start with something simple like a dishcloth. There are free dishcloth patterns on Ravelry that you can just practice with whatever yarn you've got laying around, or you can find cheap at the store. Now don't let me get too distracted or I will do this wrong. So yarn over, work the next chain, yarn over, pull through one, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through the rest. There we go. So we see that it's sort of churning out. That's what it's looking like. That's what it's looking like. So we're almost done with our live stream here, and we have gone over the basics. You need to know how to make a slip knot. You need to learn how to do a chain stitch. You need to learn single crochet, and you need to learn double crochet. There are a couple more skills needed to complete this pattern, but again, there are actually video tutorials linked when you buy the pattern, and the maker of that particular pattern is a member of the Facebook group Extra Equestrians, so she may agree to answer a question if you have one. Like if you get stuck on some part of the pattern and you're like, what does this mean? I can't figure it out and I can't make it work. I don't know, maybe if you're nice and ask her really sweetly and tell her she's great or whatever, I don't know. You know, butter people up. You know how to butter people up. Okay, so you get all the way to the end, and see, now I'm working on making a little, it's now a piece of fabric that I have crocheted together from one piece of yarn. Yay, hooray! Okay, I'm almost done with my Diet Dr. Pepper. Now, see, I'm talking about getting a good night's sleep, and I'm sitting here drinking caffeine at like nearly 11 o'clock at night. So yarn, when you're starting out any kind, I actually found a variety pack of different size crochet needles from Walmart today. So it was like, I think $8 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think 8 or 9 crochet hooks. So that's not bad, $1 each. And then these little bundles are a couple dollars. This is like $1 something at Walmart. I was hoping to make a bonnet out of this one, and then just this. I love this color. This is such a color. This color is a mood. So, all right. We turn our work. Let me practice a couple more of these double chains. So at the end, remember, we have to make the width for the next one. So we want to chain stitch 3 stitches. 1, yarn over and pull it through, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through. There we go. Then yarn over, and we go through 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Yarn over, pull through 1. Okay, now we've got this swirly business going on, but that's fine. That's fine. We love ourselves. We believe in ourselves. We're just practicing. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through the rest of it. So again, now we're working back the other way. Yarn over, find the next stitch. Boop. Yarn over, pull it through, and yarn over. So you will get confident, you will learn, you will get better and better. You'll be able to go on to harder and harder projects. I am looking forward to making this ear bonnet. So let me go through and see this for the last few minutes of our live stream here. I don't know who is still on here. So we've got the fly. Here's what you get with your pattern. If you're still with me on the live stream, thank goodness. Hello, thank you. You can go to Ravelry.com and get this fly bonnet pattern, which is normally $8. You can get this for $5 just tonight. So if that's what you're into. And here's what you get. You not only get the list, but there are video tutorials that go with it. There are, hang on, all of the written instructions, pages and pages. And yes, I printed all of this out. This was a PDF. And y'all, okay, confession time. I'm such an old lady. I thought I had waited too late to order this pattern because I just ordered it like yesterday. And so I'm like, gosh, I'm gonna have to wait for it to get here. And I'm still thinking like snail mail because I grew up in like the 70s and 80s when you ordered stuff, you had to wait like 4 to 6 weeks to get it in the mail. And so I'm like, gosh, I waited too long to order this pattern. And then I realized, oh my God, Michelle, it's 2019. This is a download. Like you pay the money through PayPal or whatever. And then they send you a link and you download it. And I felt so dumb. So I was like, oh, so I guess I have it. Okay. So here are some special instructions that you get with it as well. And also instructions on joining the pieces. Optional things, instructions for earpieces if you want to add ears to your bonnet. Now here, there's a whole photo collage of what the work should look like as you're making it. So these are great. She really goes through the whole thing. See, this is that, I think that's double crochet. What we're doing there. Look at all that. So you get all of these pictures to go with your tutorial. So that's like 19 pages of stuff you get for your ear bonnet. And we are just about to, I may end the live stream just a few minutes early tonight because we did everything I set out to do tonight. We talked about our supplies. We talked about patterns. We talked about troubleshooting and how to find help when you need it and how to do Slipknot, chain stitch, single crochet, and double crochet. Remember to check the description box of this video because there's all kinds of links there. There's links to other tutorials. There's links to the pattern for the horse ear bonnet. There's links to my Etsy store where you can see things that I have knitted, scarves that I've knitted, and things that I've made. If you want to join the Extra Equestrians group, there's a link in the description box for that. And be sure to follow me on Instagram and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're almost at 750 subscribers. Yeah! So if you want your own Extra Equestrians t-shirt, there's a link to that in the Etsy store down there below. Thank you everybody who joined me tonight. Brittany and Hannah Hanimals. Thank you for joining us. Marvel, I saw you peek in here. And Zadel and Scott and Lily. And let's see who else was here tonight. Anybody else who is here watching, thank you so much for being here. I hope you learned a little bit about crochet. I hope you're going to practice. If you are crocheting, tag me in pictures on Instagram or post them up in the Extra Equestrians group. So thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight. And that's going to be it for the Tuesday night live stream. Next week is Tack Chat, where Adriana will be back, and we're going to be drinking some wine and cleaning our tack and chatting about an equestrian topic. So come hang out with us and clean your boots, clean your saddles, clean your bridles next Tuesday night. Okay, bye.